Okay. Welcome back. All right. It is so good to see you all today. Yesterday, during our guest speaker, we did have somebody come speak. What was her name though? Marlene Medina. Right, Marlene Medina. And what did Miss Medina do for a living?
Accountant.
She was an accountant, right. Some type of special accountant. Say that again? A CPA. What does CPA stand for? You're right, William, she was an accountant as well. I mean, a manager accountant. But what does CPA stand for again? Certified Public
Accountant.
Accountant. Outstanding. Miss Medina was a certified public accountant, and she worked in a firm. What city was that firm in, WRDR? It was in Joliet, right, exactly. Miss Medina came to speak to us yesterday. A certified public accountant, or CPA, who works at WRDR out in Joliet here. She also offered to us to expand our professional network by inviting us to take photos with her. She passed out some business cards as well. And she had shared with me when we had lunch later that she'd be willing to come back and speak with us again. During her session, she had shared with us that she's more than willing to have job shadowing opportunities for us too. By the time you become a junior, a job shadow is similar to an intern, whereas you get to go to work with the person you shadow. Sometimes you go to work with them for a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a semester. It depends on how the curriculum is written. And the job shadow is where you follow the person around throughout their day to see what the day-to-day experience is like for that occupation. Again, Ms. Medina shared that she's available for job shadowing if accounting is something that is of interest to you. Something else that I observed yesterday is that Ms. Medina was using some of the vocabulary words in the context of her day-to-day. For example, she was sharing with us what she does as an auditor. She was sharing with us about how she looks at the books or keeps records. And she also used some of the vocabulary words that we had become familiar with last week. I'll talk a little bit more about this today. But I did want to get from you your take on how yesterday went. With that in mind, I am going to now turn on the projector. I am also going to invite you to do one of two things. One, you can use your phone to scan the QR code, or two, you can join with a website written in blue at the board, menti.com. Again, in just a moment, our projector screen is going to warm up, and you can either choose with your phone to take a picture of that QR code or go to menti.com. That's okay. With that in mind, I'm going to dim the lights and give you the rest of that join code that's on the board. If you are choosing to use your phone, great. I like that idea. Scan that QR code there. If you are choosing to use a laptop or desktop here, you're going to M-E-N-T-I. M is in Mary, E is in Edward, N is in Nancy, T is in toast, I is in ice cream.com. And then it's going to ask you if you go to the website for a join code. The join code is written on the board in black, or the join code is 8747-2730. Again, the Menti join code is 8747-2730. 747-2730. I'm going to circulate around the room now to make sure everyone is there, because that's our next step.
Should we say all the true stuff?
Aldrin, please make sure you join that website we have there and use the black as the join code. Use your phone, good time. Most of us are there. I see some of us are getting there, and we're working on question 1A right now. The question 1A is asking you, what is something about accounting that you already know? Again, please put your response, no right or wrong answers, but let us know what is something about accounting that you already know. With these things that we see in front of us, also known as word clouds, typically when people put the answer in more than once, that word grows larger. So as you are contributing, some of the things that I see we're responding with about what we know already about accounting, we know it's a word. We know that it's related to business. I'm looking at that teal on the right side. That is a language, the language of business. I also see that we feel that it has something to do with taxes. 4 years of college are needed. I also see that we recognize that it takes time. And it has something to do with that finance career category. This makes a lot of sense to me. Accounting also takes place, I'm looking in red on the left, within the community. It's probably helpful to the community. And accounting, this one I see in red also, is a storyteller. Accounting tells a story. You all are so wise and smart. You shared that it's different types of accounting that focuses on money, and that you can work from home with this occupation because it has flexible hours. Outstanding analysis, good people. I'd love to see this. We're waiting for just a couple of more people to join us. MENTI.com. Written on the board in blue in front of you, MENTI.com. Join code is 8747-2730. You're welcome. All right. Oh, I see it requires a bachelor's degree too. Outstanding. I'm going to skip 1B and jump to 2A because you all are so brilliant. 2A is asking for your response to what is something about accounting that you want to know more about. Again, repeating that question, your response is answering what is something about accounting that you want to know more about. Again, there's no wrong or right answers here. I just want to get your thoughts. Please let me know your response to that question. What's something about accounting that you want to know more about? I'm interested to see the results.
Big one.
Has anyone ever played with Miss Meters before? No? All right. That's fair. I oftentimes see them in
Business
business meetings too. And they can be fun, but after a while, people may get a little tired of them. One of the reasons I think they're fun though, is because you get to see it, the word cloud grow. It gets more dynamic the more people who participate. And to me, that keeps me alert and engaged more. Looking at that response, or the responses, what is something about accounting that you want to know more about? In blue, at the bottom, how do you become a manager? Yeah, I like that idea too.
It wouldn't let me put the ER to R.
Agreed. And she said that she had made $55 an hour as a manager. That was pretty good to me. Something else you want to know more about accounting includes the schedule and the work hours. I see on the left-hand side still in maybe magenta colors, the experience. All the business words is also on the left, maybe like the vocabulary of accounting. How hard is it to be a manager, or how hard is it to manage? On the right side in orange, I see someone asked about average pay. How much is the average pay for an accountant? Excellent, excellent contribution. I see also at the top the travel accounting, or how do you obtain education. That's what it says at the top, the education needed. Some of us shouted out that you get paid big money with it. And the daily routine is something that we'd like to know more about. Okay, this sounds wise to me. I like it. Before we continue, are there any one of these that somebody really wants to know the answer with now? Okay.
How hard is it to manage?
How hard is it to manage? Excellent. All right. For the majority of these questions, though, we're going to learn about that a little bit more deeper with today's activity and tomorrow's. To answer Jaquan's question about how hard is it to manage, that's a tough question for many people to do. Management involves managing resources, so like things or money or places or equipment. And it also involves managing people. And you'd like to think that when adults grow up, they are grown-ups. Not quite. Managing people involves hearing co-workers backstab each other, talk crap about each other, even gossip among each other. Managing people sometimes involves developing others to their full potential. For example, oh, I see Mr. Williams, you are gifted at art. We have a marketing magazine that needs to come out. I need you on the team. So a marketing manager, or I'm sorry, a manager would see the best in people and use their talents appropriately. But sometimes managers can have power trips and berate or belittle people they work with too. Sometimes we can go to school for management skills, and sometimes they are innate, just ones we have already. Management is a whole science that it takes people up to 10 to 12 years to study at the doctorate level. I like that question. You may have good answers for us in the future. Do we have other pressing questions that we see in front of us that we need answers for now? I'm going to hop ahead to question number 3. Question number 3, we're asking, regarding Ms. Medina's presentation, what is something you liked about it? Again, question 3 is asking you to respond to this. What is something you liked about our guest speaker's presentation? Let us know your thoughts. What was at least one thing you liked about yesterday's presentation? For those of you who may have been absent yesterday, we have a recording available of the event. I'll post that probably early next week. It will be unedited though. So you'll be able to still see what we participated in yesterday, and you'll be able to learn it too. Some of the things popping up about what we liked about the guest speaker's presentation included, she gave us good clarity. I see that written in red there. She gave us clarity, a good understanding about what to expect. In blue, it was understandable. Her presentation was good for us because we understood what she was saying. Her story and that she was talkative. We also found value that she was educated. I like that too. Me being a big nerd, being a teacher, I love to see when people love education and are educated. All right, we love the amazing origin of her. Probably that she started out at Washington. Probably that she still is in Joliet on the east side of town. Probably that she's on the board at the Boys and Girls Club right across the street. Her origin I thought was important too. She always let out a smile. And that it was very wordy. I'm going to say that was robust. She gave us a lot of information in that condensed class period. She gave a lot of details. She was nice and welcoming. She was soft and well-spoken. And she even gave us the requirements of how to get into accounting. I see that we also appreciated she had snacks. You gotta wait for me after because I forgot. I thought overall it was a good presentation. Not necessarily shown on here, but I wanted to hear from you all. Did you all think we should have guest speakers more frequently or probably not?
Yes.
Oh, why is that?
I took notes and it was like very educational.
Okay, that sounds very collegiate, like at the college level, taking notes on a guest speaker. Excellent, excellent. I also heard from Mr. Sellers. Why did you say that you enjoyed that, Tristan?
Because you're able to learn a lot more, understand just what you're learning in this class and
Okay.
other categories.
Okay, this makes sense to me. Thank you for that feedback. Go ahead, Gio. What was it that you benefited from or thought we should include? No, that's okay. The reason why you thought that having a guest speaker was important or that we should continue to do it is because, did you like sitting in the class or getting out of the classroom, for example? Yeah? Okay, all right. This is insightful to me too. Thank you for sharing this. Anyone else bursting to share?
I liked how there was a change of scenery.
I agree with you, Mr. Williams. Sometimes sitting in the same old room and the same old chairs is a little boring. Yeah. So being able to have like an internal field trip was important. I wonder if that activity we're doing about field trip planning, could we get some of those leaders here? Oh, you think so? Oh,
She
okay.
said she had flexible, like her schedule was very flexible.
Yes, her schedule was flexible, but even though we all have different career categories and we've already started the work of planning to expand our professional network, I wonder if we can make contact with some of those people and bring them here. I bet we could. What do you think, Ms. Almendares? Yeah? For sure we could. All right. I have a fourth of 5 questions total. Looking at that fourth question, I want to know regarding the presentation yesterday. What's something that you would change about it? Please share your thoughts now. What's something that you would change about yesterday's presentation? Mr. Young, I'm excited to see your answer. With those Mentimeters, usually if someone types the same answer more than once, that word grows larger. So I see the word nothing is pretty large right now. What's your answer so far,
I
gentlemen?
thought this was gonna be this her life story.
She gave us her life. Okay, that resonates me. It was a perfect presentation, so we would not change nothing about it. Oh, we wanted it to be longer. Okay. The length of it, that's something that we may change. Asking more questions. This makes sense. We did have an expert there on the subject matter. Having more questions may have been valid. All right. And more often. I like that. Excellent, excellent. Asking more questions. Okay. I like right here too how you all are highlighting and enjoying that. I got one more question for you before we move on to today's activity. The last question. What is it that you are still curious about regarding accounting? Maybe there was something that we didn't get to yesterday. Maybe yesterday after class you went and Googled something and you're like, I want to know more. If that's true, what is something that you're still curious about the subject? For those who may be curious, I recall mentioning that Joliet Central itself teaches an accounting class. And we actually had Mr. Smith's accounting students in there with us yesterday. Accounting is a class that you could take here on campus, your junior or senior year, if you're very interested in it. And if you're a senior who did not get a chance to take accounting, have no worries, they offer accounting in college too. That was the first time I took accounting, was when I was in college. So if you are a senior, I recommend taking accounting. I do recall that we all are on different career trajectories, different career paths, and finance may not be ours. However, we also saw that accounting was the language of business. It's an information science, and it may be appropriate for any one of us to have a good understanding of managerial accounting, because when we have that vocabulary and language under our belt, we're able to express to our leaders or our teams that we know what the heck we're talking about regarding our department, regarding our role, and regarding the business as a whole in the marketplace or in the world. To summarize, I think it is important in business to have a good working knowledge of managerial accounting, because it just helps us communicate the language of business better. I'm going to pay attention to what you all are contributing to question 5. What I see, we're curious about what happens if you mess up. Looking out at top in that orange ink. We're also interested in the day-to-day lifestyle of the accountant. Also, what type of degree and or financial standing should one have? Regarding the salary, that's something we could Google ourselves. What is the salary of an accountant in whichever city you're choosing to reside or live in? For example, what is the salary of an accountant in Illinois? What's the salary of an accountant in Texas? What's the salary of an accountant in New York? Insert your own city or state there at the end. I see we're interested in finding out, is accounting repetitive? That's one of my concerns too. Is it the same thing day to day? That would bore the heck out of me if it was. I'm looking at the ones in red. What is a good business to join for accounting? I think that may depend upon the industry that you work in. And identifying which business it is to join for accounting is probably unique to your own situation. Maybe you'd like a smaller business to work with, maybe a larger business. As Ms. Medina shared with us yesterday, the big 4 accounting firms that are global organizations. Maybe that's something interesting to you, to be able to travel or work through the world. I see that how much time is required for accounting, what type of degree is needed, as well as what classes are needed, and if you can have your friends work with you. I think these are valid things to be curious about regarding accounting. I'm confident we're going to explore some of those answers today with our next activity. Before we go ahead, are there any other questions, comments, or concerns we've had so far about this interaction? All right, awesome. So then with the next part of today, while accounting is still fresh in our head, I wanted to share with you a document. For this document, you're going to need something to write with. You can work individually. You can work with someone next to you. And when I share it with you, the first 2 pages, front and back, is the English content, and then the back page, front and back, is the Spanish content. Feel free to choose your preferred language for it. And it's actually going to be a video that we're going to watch that summarizes best what accounting is and how we use accounting as a tool. There are about 9 questions that I'm asking you to watch throughout the video and respond to on paper. When you receive your copy, though, of the activity, please put your first and last name on it and period 6 on it as well. And hold on to it because we're going to do something at the end of today's session. I'm passing that out for you now. Please again put your first and last name on it, period 5. And I will share with you the next steps. Yes, sir. Please go and pass it down. And then yes. Yes. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. No problem. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right here for now. Turn on the light and share with you the next steps. As I mentioned, you can choose to work with someone else or by yourself. And I'll give us a chance to move our seats now. Yep, if you're going to switch seats, you have about 1 minute to change your seats now. And is there someone who needs something to write with for this activity? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You're welcome. Mr. Young, you're still with us? All right, for those of us who are ready, I'm going to ask you to go to this website on any device that you choose, your phone, the school computer, your laptop. But I am also going to ask that you have closed captioning on for this video because you're going to need to see the answers as they present themselves. Again, we're going to go to YouTube in a moment. Everyone's going to be at individual paces because we may have to rewind or pause or fast forward. So I will not play it for the whole group. You're going to play it for yourself. You can work by yourself individually or with someone else of your choosing. And we're going to respond to the 9 questions. The video we're watching is going to be at https://utu.be/d as in David, lowercase b as in boy, lowercase h. I'm going to pause right here for a moment because sometimes even I get D and B confused or mixed up. Going back after that / is lowercase d as in David, lowercase b as in boy, lowercase h as in hat. If it's underlined in red, it's an uppercase letter. So we need uppercase or capital Z as in zebra, capital S as in Sam, lowercase r as in rainbow, uppercase T as in Tom, lowercase d as in David, uppercase F as in Frank, a lowercase letter L, and an uppercase U. Repeat it once more. The site we're going to is https://utu.be. We put that period in between there to remove the commercials and ads. / D as in David, B as in boy, H as in hat, uppercase Z as in zebra, uppercase S as in Sam, lowercase r as in rainbow, uppercase T as in Tom, lowercase d as in David, uppercase F as in Frank, lowercase l as in love, uppercase U as in umbrella. If you need to get closer to see for yourself or to take a picture, feel free to do so. We're talking about that black ink on the board. And this video actually takes only about 2 minutes to watch all total. But again, I want you to have closed captioning on, pause, rewind where appropriate, and fill in the answers for those 9 questions. We have about 20 minutes to do so. And once we are done, I will have us have another activity to review what we just discovered and to fill in any gaps of information we didn't get. Questions, comments, or concerns before we begin? All right. I'm going to circulate the room to make sure that we don't have any questions and to just check in to see how far your progress is. Please begin now if you haven't done so already. I see your hand up, Jack. Just give me a moment. Thank you.
Pencil in Alabama.
It's going to be this one.
Welcome to Edge County, where we're passionate about financial education. Today's video is an accounting overview and there's a lot of crowd. It's primarily the recording of the information. First, you have to recognize a financial transaction.
Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you know you love me. I do.
And lastly,
Come here, Daniel. You said what time is it? What time is it? Okay.
report on it. Many people use accounting information. They can be divided into insurance. Those within a company who use the information to make decisions to run the business.
Yeah.
External users are those.
An eraser?
Wait, did you get the first two? What? Did you get the first two?
I have this pencil eraser. You're welcome.
Outside users, like investors and creditors, there are basic rules for accounting. We refer to those rules as GAAP, or generally accepted accounting principles. Refer to those rules as GAAP, or generally accepted accounting principles.
All right, Ms. Matthews and Mr. Bryant, that has been sent to you through email. Okay, nice.
The basic accounting equation was developed by Da Vinci's tutor named Pacioli and explains double entry accounting where assets are equal.
Mr.
So
Phillips, get your
liabilities
copy. For your answers. A3 is your answer to
No, I
question
know.
3.
No, I just don't use my money.
That's kind of time. Yes. Other questions you have?
No.
Okay. I'm listening, Mr. Sellers. Other questions you have?
plus equity. When transactions are recorded.
Don't forget, beautiful people, please add your first name, last name, and period 6 at the top.
But a plus, always the same balance.
Wait, you said 7? Yes. You got any closed caption on your video?
can't get it.
Oh, you need the video, okay. Let me forward you the link.
Do what? I'm on it. What up? Finish the back. The black is for... No, this one.
I don't know if that's true.
Now, machine